As part of the University of Trinidad and Tobago's Bachelors of Engineering program, my colleagues and I would like to introduce a report on the ethical considerations, or lack thereof, involved with the Texas City oil refinery disaster. The group members responsible for the delivery of this report are Carol Brown, Ngozi Atida, Khadija Dayal, and myself, John Graham Kidney. On the morning of March 23, 2005, the Refinery splitter tower in the refinery's isomerization unit was restarted after maintenance outage. During the startup, operations personnel pumped flammable liquid hydrocarbons into the tower for over 3 hours without any liquid being removed, which was contrary to startup procedure instructions. Critical alarms and control instrumentation provided false indications which failed to alert the operators of the high level in the tower. Consequently, unknown to the operations crew, the 170-foot tall tower was overfilled. The overhead pipe ran down the side of the tower to pressure relief valves located below. As the pipe filled with liquid, the pressure at the bottom rose rapidly from about 21 psi to about 64 psi. The 3 pressure relief valves opened for 6 minutes, discharging a large quantity of flammable liquid to a blow-down drum with the vent stack open to the atmosphere. The blow-down drum and stack overfilled with flammable liquid. 180 additional personnel were also injured. 43,000 people were told to remain indoors. Houses were damaged as far away as 3/4 of a mile from the refinery. At the time, the BP Texas City facility was the 3rd largest oil refinery in the United States. Prior to 1999, Amoco owned the refinery. BP merged with Amoco in 1999, and BP subsequently took over the operation of the plant. OSHA enforcement at the BP Texas City refinery was examined. In the years prior to the incident, OSHA conducted several inspections, primarily in response to fatalities at the refinery, but did not identify the likelihood for a catastrophic incident, nor did OSHA prioritize planned inspections of the refinery to enforce process safety regulations, despite warning signs. After this incident, neither Amoco nor BP replaced blow-down drums and atmospheric stacks, even though a series of incidents warned that this equipment was unsafe. In 1992, OSHA cited a similar blow-down drum and stack as unsafe, but the citation was withdrawn as part of a settlement agreement, and therefore the drum was not connected to a flare as recommended. Amoco and later BP had safety standards requiring that blow-down stacks be replaced with equipment such as a flare when major modifications were made. In 1997, a major modification replaced the isomerism blow-down drum and stack with similar equipment, but Amoco did not connect it to a flare. Key organizational findings: cost cutting, failure to invest, and production pressures from BP Group executive managers impaired process safety performance at Texas City. The BP Board of Directors did not provide effective oversight of BP's safety culture and major accident prevention programs. The board did not have a member responsible for assessing and verifying the performance of BP's major accident hazard prevention programs. Reliance on the low personal injury rate at Texas City as a safety indicator failed to provide a true picture of process safety performance and the health of the safety culture. Deficiencies in BP's mechanical integrity program resulted in the runt failure of process equipment at Texas City. I will now like to introduce Carol Brown, who will highlight the external challenges and describe the culture within the organization.
Good day, my name is Carol Brown, and I'm going to speak on 2 areas: The first area is the challenges that were encountered at the Texas City Oil Refinery. The U.S. Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board investigated BP's Texas City Oil Refinery explosion and discovered the following challenges encountered. 1. The BP Group executive managers placed pressure on the refinery to increase its production. 2. The managers failed to implement up-to-date safety devices as they focused instead on cost-cutting methods, thus impairing process safety performance. 3. The accident hazard prevention programs were not assessed nor verified by a member of BP's board of directors. 4. There was a lack of an effective mechanical integrity program to maintain instruments and process safety equipment. 5. Staffing was downsized. Operators were fatigued from working 12-hour shifts for 29 or more consecutive days. And operator process training was inadequate as simulators were unavailable for operators to practice handling abnormal situations, including infrequent and high-hazard operations. The second area is the culture adopted at Texas City Oil Refinery. The Board of Executives encouraged a very poor safety culture at the BP companies. This was clearly revealed by investigation of the industrial accident which occurred at Texas City Oil Refinery in 2005. Lack of proper policy guidelines, together with unacceptable safety practices, allowed for the disastrous outcome that occurred at Texas City Oil Refinery. The following are some of the inefficient cultural practices that will eventually promote such a disaster. 1. Appropriate resources were not provided to assure adequate process safety. 2. Process safety was not a priority in the decision-making of management. 3. Reporting of safety problems were not encouraged, with personnel even being afraid of retaliation if this was done. 4. The compliance with safety policy and procedure requirements within the company was disregarded even at the level of management. 5. Rewards for worker behavior were given priority over process and management safety systems when safety campaigns were conducted. 6. Managers were inefficient in their response to safety problems identified by auditors at the Texas City Refinery. And the method of checking off on safety policy and procedure requirements encouraged non-compliance to proper safety requirements. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Khadija Dayal, who will discuss the value system of those involved.
Good day, my name is Khadija Dayal, and in this section of the video, I will be discussing the value system and hegemons of the operators, engineers, and management involved in the 2005 Texas City Refinery explosion. According to BP's currently posted corporate strategy, the company's core values is stated to deliver value over volume. While the strategy lists quite a few values, the ones that stood out the most to us are the fact that there is a wish to run safe, reliable, and compliant operations, achieve the project competitively, and making disciplined financial choices. Considering that this corporate strategy was posted following a series of minor and major accidents at that same plant, as well as at other facilities around the world, it is no wonder that the company would state this as its value system in order to repair its already damaged reputation. Prior to the 2005 refinery exploding, was this really the true value system of the workers at the company? According to a March 2007 U.S. Chemical Safety Hazard and Investigation-based board report, the accident was deemed to be caused by organizational and safety deficiencies at all levels, and that several warning signs were present years before the major accident occurred. In addition to that, following the major disaster, there were 2 accidents that resulted in millions of dollars of structural damages. So, was it the value system of the operators and engineers or managements that caused this accident? In the same U.S. Chemical and Safety Hazard Report, it was stated that the managers for the engineers were responsible and the managers for this issue were also responsible. Based on our investigation, it can be seen that the value system for the engineers can be perceived as the following. The hegemon, meeting the set targets. Ensuring continuous production. Money, status, and power. Ensuring persons are not injured on the job. Ensuring that the refinery infrastructure and process equipment were in good working order. Following that, the value systems of the managers and the higher-ups at the company can be perceived as the hegemon, maximizing profits. Following that, ensuring continuous production regardless of the conditions. Self-preservation, reputation, and rank. Efficient operations, worker safety. It is suspected that because the management is insisting on meeting the stipulated production requirements and cut the repair budgets by more than half despite being informed by regular reports that the machinery and infrastructure at the plant was falling into disrepute, as well as the engineers willing to follow that mandate rather than insisting upon the urgent repairs needed to be done, led to this disaster. Based on this research, it seemed as if the engineers did go in agreement with the General Code of Conduct of the engineers. However, they went with the organizational culture at the time, getting things done on time, in budget, regardless of working conditions. And while you're at it, try not to let anyone die. Because of this belief, 15 persons were killed. 118 persons were injured with various degrees of severity, and BP suffered a huge blow to their reputation, which would eventually worsen with the Macondo incident. Thank you for listening to this report.
I now introduce Ngozi Atiba, who will discuss what could have been done differently and offer a group reflection.
How has the study of the BP oil refinery explosion affected us? Always put safety first. This includes wearing personal protection equipment, following safety regulations, knowing safety procedures, and heeding safety warnings. Ensure proper procedure is adhered to. Learn the procedure involved with the line of work you are aligned to. Understand what each steps entail and why they are there. Therefore, never make dangerous shortcuts that can jeopardize our lives and others. Don't be complacent on the job. After running an operation often and with no safety issues, persons could become lax with safety requirements. We learned not to let familiarity downplay the need for vigilance in a hazardous work environment. We learned that we should not be afraid to talk about or raise issues about procedures that compromise safety, as correcting such issues can help save our lives as well as the lives of our co-workers. Be professional. Always exhibit the qualities of a professional, such as respect, ethics, honesty, and integrity. Don't be willing to be part of a poor safety culture. BP, at the time of the oil refinery explosion, practiced poor safety that concerned safety organizations such as OSHA. According to the Non-Partisan Center for Public Integrity, BP facilities accounted for 97% of egregious, willful violations handed out by OSHA. That is a total of 760 violations for BP, compared to 8 for Sunoco and ConocoPhillips, 2 for Citgo, and 1 for Exxon.
In conclusion, the Texas City oil refinery explosion could have been avoided if ethical considerations involving equipment upgrades and maintenance, personnel training, and preventative safety measures were undertaken and implemented. Thank you for your time.